How's it going, everybody? KG here. So we're going to go through some gameplay today of various different games. We're going to check out the Z95B from Panasonic. And I have set the in-game HDR to 2300 nits, as that's what you're trying to target with the Z95B if you're following the HGIG guidelines using the clipping mode. And this is going to give you the most impactful highlights from what I have seen and tested. There hasn't been anything that is going to be better than this. A couple of things off the bat. Game mode is not perfect, but it's not bad. It does have a little bit of issues with the banding and posterization like we see with LG OLED TVs. So that's not immune to that totally, but it's not terrible. And we get pretty good color brightness from the TV, though not as good as QD OLED. So this is sort of live commentary of me playing different games and sort of just giving you the overall perspective of the Panasonic game mode. I am using the out-of-the-box true game mode, which is going to be very similar to filmmaker mode. And it just gives us an overall great picture quality when following HGIG. You know, we are getting great highlights. Certain games look better than others. Now, there is an alternative dynamic mode if you don't want to use the clipping mode, but I have found that clipping mode has the best overall look to it. If you want more brightness out of the TV, you can raise this. This will give you an over brightened look by raising the luminance level. In some games, it may be okay, as there's not a lot of games that really look that amazing in HDR unless they are going to follow the HGIG guidelines, which I have seen some games just don't, and some games kind of play by their own rules. But typically I do think that sticking to 70 is fine here, but you can play around with it and it's really your personal preference. Now there is the game bar that we can pull up here. If we go to display features, you can see game control board is on here, and this gives us different game modes. So you can do the game mode. This is going to be using the dynamic profile of the dynamic tone mapping, and it also is going to be more of a cooler color temperature, as you can see here. So this is like your traditional out of the box game mode that you're used to with other TVs. This TV is definitely going to be a little bit different than the others. I have professional, and these are all the actual different modes that you have here. So nothing like a game profile. You just have a game and true game, but you can customize these to your liking. You can see the HDR tone map option switches between clipping and game based on what you select there. You do have VRR on this TV, as well as ALLM mode. And then you have the different sound modes you can select. Now, interesting, this display information thing just tells you about the game. The games don't send metadata and consoles don't send metadata, so this is just letting you know it's an HDR. This is actually useful if you hook up your Blu-ray player and then you like throw this on. You can see the 4K Blu-ray player metadata, which is nice. So let's try out a sports game here. So this is EA Madden NFL 2026. So the latest Madden. I've yet to even really check this out. Apparently it runs in 120 FPS, but like I said, I don't know much. I typically think Madden's pretty bad every year for the last couple of years. I know some people like it. I used to like it a lot, but it's just oftentimes the same game every year, and you know, you kind of just get tired of it. I'm a big NFL fan and I wish it wasn't like that, but you know, it is kind of what it is. We'll be the two rookie quarterbacks from last year. I'm a big Broncos fan, so I'm gonna be the Broncos. And let's fire it up and look at the intro and see how it looks in HDR. There's Bo Nix, best quarterback in the world. Well, it's my quarterback. So you see the Broncos running out on the field. Some close-ups of them. You got the kickoff here. Let's run the kickoff. I was really hoping it would do the night, because the nighttime has a pretty cool presentation, but So we'll do some playoff experience here. Jade Daniels did a really good job in the playoffs last year. I mean, just what a rookie class, right? I mean, this isn't about football. This video is not about football, but like we might as well be talking about it while we're there, right? So you kind of get the feel for HDR games. Let's load up an SDR title, my favorite game, Expedition 33. And you can see I have it at max brightness right now, just to show you what the TV is capable of. And yeah, it's very capable of high brightness levels out of SDR. So if you're somebody who likes to crank up SDR because you're in a bright room or you just want to, you can absolutely do it that way. Or if you want to play SDR like normally, it's also good at that as well. So you can kind of get it down to some more comfortable levels because it's a very bright game. You know, absolute beautiful game. Expedition 33 is. It's a very capable gaming TV. It's one of my favorite gaming TVs this year. And I think it just does a really good job overall. I'm gonna probably beat this guy because like my team's a little stacked. But let's load up a different save. I have a save that loads right before the gamage, and if you guys don't know what happened yet, you know, I'm not gonna spoil it. And you know, I'm just gonna talk about the Panasonic Z95B. I do think that if you're talking about gaming performance, it does really good, up to 144 hertz. So not 165 hertz, but still 144 hertz is respectable. VRR, that's nice. And then of course, you just have a really awesome out of the box game mode. You don't have to change anything at all. You have enough brightness for bright room SDR, and you have just really good control over the brightness for SDR as well if you're in a darker room. So overall, you have everything you want out of a gaming TV here with the Z95B. I don't really have any complaints about the Z95B. It's one of my favorite gaming TVs this year. I like it. It's up there with the S95F. I give the edge to the S95F. I think this is better than the LG G5, but only if you're not a PC gamer. If you're a PC gamer, the LG G5 would be better because you have 165 hertz. But I think other than that, the Z95B checks all the boxes, and it's just an amazing TV. And yeah, I have no real complaints about the way this looks. The game mode is one of the best looking game modes. It's up there with Sony as just an awesome looking game mode out of the box. So it's between this and Sony if you just want to have the best out of the box game mode. And Sony is going to be restricted to 120 hertz, which wouldn't be a problem if you're on console. Right. You also have this. If you go to HDR settings, EOTF, you could force HLG if you want to for your SDR titles. PQ is not something you want to do. It's really up to you. You can play around with it if you want, but I suggest just sticking to auto for SDR, and that'll be your best bet. All in all, I have to say it's really hard to complain about anything with the Z95B other than maybe posterization issues, but I see that on the LG OLED as well. I think this is a better TV than the LG OLED. It's not as good as the S95F, but it is really, really good if you're looking for accurate looking HDR gaming. I mean, I think the colors are probably on point. They look just as good as they do in filmmaker mode, which is a really good sign that you're looking at accurate colors here. So the S95F, not as good in that department as the Panasonic Z95B and the Bravia 8 Mark II. But I do think the Z95B probably has the best looking game mode out of the box in the true game mode that you could possibly find. And I think that is why it's a good TV to pick for gaming. If you guys are looking at the Z95B, check out the links in the description below. They are affiliate links to help out the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you in the next one.